The package shimmered. It pulsed with an inner light. John stared at it, confused. He hadn't ordered anything. His life was bills and takeout, not shimmering packages. Hesitantly, he tore it open. Inside, nestled in velvet, lay an envelope. It was addressed to him in elegant script. John Smith, winner of a trip to JTA100KLANDS. John blinked. JTA100KLANDS? The name meant nothing to him. He scanned the rest of the letter. It spoke of a magical kingdom, a realm of wonder. It was the grand prize in a contest he didn't remember entering. A wave of doubt washed over him. This had to be a prank. Yet the shimmering envelope seemed to thrum with an energy he couldn't deny. Curiosity piqued, John decided to play along. He'd find out who was behind this elaborate joke. He dialed the number provided. A smooth voice answered, "Congratulations, Mr. Smith. Prepare yourself for the adventure of a lifetime." The voice gave him instructions. Be ready tomorrow at dawn. A golden plane would arrive to whisk him away. John hung up, a knot of apprehension tightening in his stomach. This was crazy, yet a spark of excitement flickered within him. Could it be real? Could he truly be going on a magical adventure? The sunrise was a blaze of colour as the golden plane descended. John gaped at the landscape below. It was like nothing he'd ever seen. Vivid, pulsating jungle stretched as far as the eye could see. Giant flowers glowing with neon hues swayed rhythmically. Strange, beautiful music throbbed in the air, seemingly emanating from the very trees themselves. He landed on a runway of shimmering crystal. As he stepped off the plane, the air hummed with energy. The music surrounded him, a symphony of nature unlike anything he'd ever heard. He felt a tingle run down his spine. This was JTA100KLANDS, a land where the impossible seemed possible. Excitement bubbled inside him, chasing away his initial skepticism. He was ready to explore this bizarre and beautiful world. A friendly, furry creature with glowing antennae approached him. "Welcome to JTA100KLANDS, traveler. I'm Zorp, your guide." Zorp spoke in chirps and whistles, yet John understood perfectly. The magic of this place was already at work. "Follow me," Zorp chirped, leading him towards a waiting vehicle that resembled a giant iridescent beetle. As they zoomed through the neon jungle, John felt a sense of wonder bloom within him. This was no prank. This was real magic. The golden plane was a marvel. Its interior shimmered with a warm, inviting glow. The seats, plush and comfortable, vibrated gently in sync with the music piped through invisible speakers. John recognized the tune instantly. It was JTA100K, a catchy rhythm that had taken the world by storm. He couldn't help but tap his foot along. A friendly attendant offered him a drink that shimmered like liquid starlight. It tasted like pure joy and energy. As he sipped it, John gazed out the window. The clouds parted, revealing a breathtaking view of the kingdom below. Neon rivers snaked through the jungle, their waters glowing with an ethereal light. Strange creatures, some winged, some scaled, soared through the air. The music swelled, filling the cabin with its infectious rhythm. John closed his eyes, letting the beat wash over him. He had never felt so alive, so energized. This journey was already exceeding his wildest expectations. He wondered what other wonders awaited him in this magical realm. His heart thrummed with anticipation, beating in time with the music that seemed to permeate every corner of JTA100KLANDS. Harold's Hotel was a sight to behold. Built into the heart of a giant, singing tree, it pulsed with a life of its own. Vines adorned with glowing blossoms served as impromptu balconies. The windows, crafted from polished amber, glowed with a warm, inviting light. The air hummed with the music of the tree, a soothing melody that seemed to seep into John's very bones. Inside, the hotel was a symphony of organic architecture. The walls rippled with subtle movements, and the floors were carpeted in soft, springy moss. Light filtered through stained glass leaves, casting the lobby in a kaleidoscope of colors. John felt a sense of peace settle over him. This place was a haven, a sanctuary from the ordinary. Zorp led him to his room, a cozy nook nestled high in the tree's branches. "Rest well, traveler," Zorp chirped. "Tomorrow the real adventure begins." As John settled into his bed of woven leaves, he could hear the gentle music of the tree lull him to sleep. He drifted off, eager to discover what wonders awaited him in this magical kingdom. Section 5, Whispers of Ultramoon. Breakfast was a feast of strange and delightful foods. John savoured fruits that burst with light and drank juice that tasted like the sunrise. Zorp arrived, his antennae twitching excitedly. Today, we explore the Soundwave Forest, he announced. But be warned, traveler, tonight is the ultramoon. John's brow furrowed. Ultramoon? He echoed. Zorp's cheerful demeanor dimmed slightly. The ultramoon is a time of great change, he explained, even here in JTA100KLANDS. It affects everything, even our beloved ruler, JTA100K. He leaned closer, his voice dropping to a hushed whisper. Legend has it that under the ultramoon, JTA100K transforms into something else, something wilder. A shiver ran down John's spine. This was unexpected. He had imagined this trip as pure fun, a whimsical escape. But the ultramoon and this transformation Zorp spoke of hinted at a hidden side to JTA100KLANDS, a side that was a little unnerving. He pushed down his apprehension, reminding himself that he was on an adventure. And adventures, he knew, were rarely without their challenges. Section 6. The Kong Awakens. The Soundwave Forest was unlike anything John could have imagined. Giant trees, their trunks resembling speakers, pulsed with vibrant energy. The music here was no gentle melody. It was a powerful primal beat that reverberated through the air, shaking the very ground beneath their feet. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows through the forest, Zorp led him to a clearing. In the center stood a massive stage, constructed from glowing crystals. "This is where we await the ultramoon," Zorp explained, his voice barely audible above the booming music. John felt a growing sense of unease. The air crackled with energy, charged with an almost tangible anticipation. And then it began. The moon, enormous and blood-red, rose slowly above the horizon. The music reached a fever pitch, the ground vibrating so violently that John could barely keep his footing. And then a roar, primal and terrifying, echoed through the forest. John watched in awe and terror as, on the stage before him, JTA100K, the benevolent ruler of this magical kingdom, transformed. His form shifted, growing larger, wilder, more monstrous. When the transformation was complete, a colossal ape, its fur the color of the ultramoon, stood before them. JTA100 Kong had awakened. Section 7. Adjusting to the extraordinary. John stared, mouth agape, at the colossal ape now dominating the clearing. JTA100 Kong beat his chest, a sound like thunder echoing through the Soundwave Forest. It was a sight both terrifying and awe-inspiring. He glanced at Zorp, expecting to see terror on the small creature's face. But Zorp merely looked excited, his antennae twitching to the beat of JTA100 Kong's roars. This, John realized with a jolt, was normal here. The ultramoon, the transformation, the monstrous ape. It was all part of life in JTA100KLANDS. He was the outsider, the one who couldn't comprehend the natural order of this extraordinary place. The realization was both unsettling and strangely liberating. He was out of his element, completely removed from the mundane reality he knew. Taking a deep breath, John tried to quell the tremor of fear running through him. He reminded himself that he was on an adventure, and adventures by their very nature were unpredictable. He had to learn to adapt, to embrace the unexpected. He had to let go of his preconceived notions and allow himself to experience JTA100KLANDS on its own terms. Section 8. Embracing the unexpected. The initial shock of JTA100 Kong's appearance began to fade, replaced by a strange sense of wonder. The creature, though monstrous, didn't seem malicious. It moved with a strange grace, its roars more like expressions of power than threats. John watched as JTA100 Kong began to move rhythmically, its massive frame swaying in time to the music. It was then that John understood. This wasn't a monster, it was a dancer, a performer. JTA100 Kong's movements, though powerful, were strangely graceful. It was a dance that spoke of raw energy, of primal instinct, yet there was beauty in its intensity. The other creatures, far from being afraid, seemed to revel in JTA100 Kong's performance. They danced alongside their transformed ruler, their movements echoing the Kong's rhythm. John felt a smile tug at his lips. He had stumbled into something truly unique, a spectacle that defied explanation. This was JTA100KLANDS in its rawest, most honest form. And he, John Smith, was lucky enough to witness it. He closed his eyes, letting the music wash over him, the vibrations of JTA100 Kong's dance shaking him to his core. He may not have understood it all, but he was ready to embrace the experience. Section 9, A Journey for the Soul. As the night wore on, the line between fear and exhilaration blurred. John found himself swept up in the energy of the ultramoon, his body moving instinctively to the primal rhythm that pulsed through the soundwave forest. He danced alongside fantastical creatures, their forms strange and wonderful. He laughed, he shouted, he lost himself in the moment. When the first rays of dawn pierced through the trees, signaling the end of the ultramoon, John felt a pang of regret. JTA100Kong, with a final earth-shaking roar, returned to his more benevolent form. The magical night was over, yet John knew he would never forget it. He had journeyed to a land beyond his wildest dreams, faced his fears, and emerged changed. As the golden plane carried him away from JTA100KLANDS, John leaned back in his seat, a contented smile on his face. He took one last look at the receding landscape, his heart filled with a newfound appreciation for the unexpected. He had gone to JTA100KLANDS seeking escape, but he found something far more valuable. He found a piece of himself he never knew existed. He found wonder. He found magic. He found adventure. And most importantly, he found himself.